Mother-in-law ruins vacation, then demands compensation. It was supposed to be the trip that healed everything. A week of peace, sun, and crystal blue water. After years of juggling work, bills, and endless family drama, the couple finally decided it was time to escape it all. A luxury resort by the coast, ocean view rooms, private dinners, and days with nothing but laughter and rest. That was the plan until the phone rang. It was his mother, and that single call turned paradise into chaos. At first it seemed harmless. She just wanted to join, to spend quality time as a family. She said she wouldn't be a bother, just a quiet presence, happy to relax and enjoy the scenery. The husband hesitated. His wife, though polite, knew better. But out of guilt and that ever-familiar sense of obligation, they said yes. That was their first mistake. The moment the mother-in-law arrived, the energy shifted. The weather was perfect, the view breathtaking, but the mood instantly tense. She complained about the hotel before even checking in. Too crowded, too noisy, not classy enough. She hated the food, didn't like the pool, and called the staff inattentive. The couple smiled through it, trying to hold on to the dream they'd built for months. But behind those smiles was a growing frustration, one that would soon boil over. Because this wasn't just an overbearing guest. It was a woman on a mission to control everything. She started rearranging the entire trip, changing meal times, criticizing outfits, and demanding everyone follow her schedule. We should go sightseeing instead. No, I don't like seafood. We're eating somewhere else. Why are you on your phone? Talk to me. Every little thing became a battle, and just when they thought she couldn't possibly ruin anything else, she found new ways. At dinner one night, she made a scene. Loud complaints about the service, arguing with the waiter, and even accusing the restaurant of overcharging her in front of everyone. The couple wanted to crawl under the table. Guests stared. The husband apologized over and over while she refused to back down, saying, "I'm the customer. I have the right to speak up." That night, the wife couldn't sleep. She lay in bed, staring at the ceiling, wondering how a simple trip turned into an emotional hostage situation. And she wasn't alone in thinking it. People online would later call this the vacation from hell, because the worst hadn't even happened yet. Cracks in paradise by day 3, everyone was walking on eggshells. The couple couldn't relax without criticism raining down. If they went out, she complained about being left behind. If they stayed in, she sighed about being ignored. If they laughed together, she claimed they were ganging up on her. It didn't matter what they did. She found a way to make it about herself. And then the breaking point came in public. The resort had planned a beach dinner night for guests, music, lanterns, and food by the shore. It was supposed to be magical. The mother-in-law, however, hated every second. She didn't like the lighting, said the chairs were too sandy, and accused the staff of forgetting her drink. When the waiter politely explained it was coming, she exploded. She screamed. She cursed. She threw the napkin across the table. Every head turned. The music stopped. The wife's heart sank into her stomach. The mother-in-law stormed out, declaring she was disrespected and embarrassed by everyone, especially her daughter-in-law. The rest of the trip was silent tension. No smiles. No laughter. Just anger and resentment buried under forced politeness. But if they thought that was the end of it, they were wrong. because the moment they got home she made a demand that stunned everyone. The shocking demand: 2 days after returning home, she called, her voice calm but cold. She said the trip had been traumatic for her, that she was treated poorly, and then she demanded the couple compensate her for what she called emotional distress and wasted expenses. Yes, she wanted money. She claimed she deserved reimbursement for the ruined vacation she endured. She even sent a list of her damages, meals she didn't like, excursions she refused to join, and time wasted feeling unappreciated. It was so absurd. The wife laughed at first, until she realized her mother-in-law was dead serious. The husband was torn, caught between his wife's outrage and his mother's guilt-tripping. "You don't understand," he said softly. "She's just lonely." Maybe she didn't mean it that way, but his wife had reached her limit. She refused to apologize, refused to pay, and made one thing clear: that woman is not joining another trip again. That declaration, however, started something bigger, a family divide that would last for months. The fallout. The mother-in-law began spreading her version of events, claiming she was bullied during the trip, that her daughter-in-law was cruel and disrespectful. Some relatives believed her, others didn't. Group chats turned into battlegrounds. Family dinners got awkward, and the husband found himself in the middle of a war he never wanted. People online later reacted with disbelief. Comments poured in. "She ruined the trip and still wants money? That's entitlement on another level." Another wrote, "This is why boundaries exist. You can't save everyone, especially not someone who thrives on chaos." The couple stayed quiet, letting time do the healing, but the scars of that trip lingered. Vacations were supposed to bring people closer. Instead, it tore them apart. The internet's verdict: when the story hit Reddit, it blew up. Thousands of people weighed in. Some empathized with the mother-in-law, saying maybe she felt left out or insecure, but most didn't buy it. The consensus was clear: she crossed the line. One user summed it up perfectly: "Being family doesn't give you the right to ruin everyone else as happiness." Another said, "Imagine being invited on a free vacation and still acting like the main character in a tragedy no one asked for." The story became a viral lesson about boundaries, entitlement, and the fine line between love and manipulation. The aftermath: eventually, the husband realized his wife was right. He stopped trying to justify his mother's behavior and started drawing lines. He told her firmly, "We're not paying you, we're not apologizing, and we're not discussing this again." For weeks she didn't speak to them, but when she finally did, her tone changed. Not apologetic, just distant. The relationship survived barely. But the vacation? It became the family's unspoken taboo, the story no one dared to mention during holidays or gatherings. And sometimes that silence says more than words ever could. The lesson: when boundaries are broken in the end, this wasn't just about a ruined vacation. It was about boundaries, and what happens when they're ignored. Family can be wonderful, but family can also test you in ways strangers never could. Because when someone uses love as a weapon, every act of kindness becomes a trap. The wife learned that peace isn't found in luxury resorts or perfect weather. It's found in saying no without guilt, without hesitation. The husband learned that protecting your partner sometimes means standing up to your parents. And the mother-in-law? Maybe she learned that control doesn't equal closeness. Or maybe not. because to this day she still insists she was the real victim, the woman wronged by an ungrateful family who didn't appreciate her efforts. And that's the scary part. Some people never see the chaos they create. So if you're planning your next family trip, remember this story. Sometimes paradise isn't about where you go. It's about who you don't bring with you. Final thought. Would you have paid her to keep the peace or stood your ground like this couple did? Because sometimes the real vacation isn't a place. It has freedom from the people who make peace impossible.